The following is a presentation of the Pro Wrestling Report. Informative, entertaining, and real since 1998.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report, Primetime Television. Damian Nelson along with David Hero, and Ring of Honor Wrestling is in the books for this week on My 24 Milwaukee. And not much of a finish in the way of the matches go tonight, but stories definitely progressed, including that between Jay Lethal and El Generico, which ended in another 15-minute draw.
You know that this match is being built up to something special. It's going to eventually have to be a no time limit match on TV.
Final battle, December 23rd on iPay-per-view. You got to assume that it's probably going to go to that pay-per-view. Mike Bennett, though, who really thinks he is the TV champion.
Well, why not?
What's the prodigy?
Listen, if you are going to be the champion, you got to believe you're the champion. And Mike Bennett thinks and believes. And how can you not be a fan of Mike Bennett? Do you know who he's dating?
The CNC Wrestle Factory took
Is
on
mastery full of slams that head. Oh, it's something different. Forget.
Took on the baddest tag team on the planet. Them boys, the Briscoes. Another no contest in this matchup. Shenanigans would ensue.
You know what? Ring of Honor right now is not having any finishes to their matches.
On this particular week, they didn't.
You know what? Jim Cornette needs to get control of this company and start laying the smackdown on some of these guys.
A big event this past Saturday as well in Chicago Ridge. Kevin Steen getting involved, was there in the front row. This is definitely going to come to a head on December 23rd at Final Battle.
You know, he obviously wants his job back if he's willing to travel all around the country to different house shows.
Must be getting paid pretty well.
Or something.
Ring of Honor in the record books for this week, but the wrestling news continues here on the Pro Wrestling Report on My 24. This week we're going to talk about last Sunday's Survivor Series and some very big news coming out of that, including a suspension and an injury, and of course the return of The Rock. We go into the history book looking at the very first Starcade event, Starcade 1983. David Hero's got his Star of the Week and more, all coming up right here, right now on the Pro Wrestling Report Primetime on My 24 Milwaukee.
This is the Pro Wrestling Report, Primetime TV, the longest-running pro wrestling news program in the world, with your hosts, David Hero and Damian Nelson.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report Primetime here on My 24 Milwaukee. Damian Nelson sitting alongside the alleged one-time past but not future Hall of Famer Hero.
You can't be a future Hall of Famer.
Dolph Ziggler is. Cody Rhodes is.
Ron Killings isn't.
Big news coming out of WWE as we talk about last Sunday's Survivor Series. One of the participants in the main event, Ron Killings, R-Truth, has been suspended for a wellness policy violation. Now, David Hero, let's go ahead and be real here with the people watching at home.
Little Jimmy got him.
Little Jimmy got him, but Little Jimmy got before the Survivor Series, and they still allowed him to perform and participate, and then participate in that injury angle the following night on Raw. Now, one provision of the WWE wellness policy does state that they would be suspended as quickly as possible, meaning heavily promoted event, they can still have people participate in them. But this a big blow for R-Truth, who was in a main event match with The Miz, John Cena, and The Rock in Madison Square Garden this past Sunday night at the Survivor Series.
The biggest push of his career ever since he won the NWA World Championship and Total Nonstop Action Impact Wrestling. Are you kidding me? I mean, he will never reclaim this spot. Never, ever.
Because now there is some taint on him as well for making such a mistake.
And because whoever comes back from The Miz beating him up. I mean, seriously.
R-Truth suspended for 30 days for a wellness policy violation in WWE, and a lot of these suspensions have been happening as of late, including referee Mike Chioda, Evan Bourne, and more, and all seemingly tied to this synthetic blend of marijuana that has one chemical in it that is barred by the WWE wellness policy.
Well, then they shouldn't be smoking it.
That is true. And, well, we'll see what happens when R-Truth returns to the fold in WWE. And speaking of WWE, at the Survivor Series, a brand new champion was crowned in CM Punk. David Hero, it happened at Madison Square Garden in the Survivor Series. CM Punk, his second reign as WWE champion. This time, it seems as if, based off what we heard from Punk and some of the reports of what WWE has planned for WrestleMania, this will be a much longer reign than his first.
And it should be interesting. He goes into Madison Square Garden,
MSG,
the mecca of all of wrestling buildings, and makes Alberto Del Rio tap. Who would have thought he would have made the Man of Destiny tap out?
The Man of Destiny, who has been a man of somewhat of a joke as of late.
Not a joke.
Alberto Del Rio's stock has fallen dramatically since his days on SmackDown, and while he was WWE champion, you almost had to ask yourself, who is the WWE champion at times? Alberto Del Rio did tap out and did lose.
If you really think about it, when have they ever had a heel champion truly be strong? The heel champions just have been around and almost been transitional.
So you're saying Alberto Del Rio was a transitional champion?
It seems like it.
So but you're not wearing your little scarf this week. You didn't drive your little fancy car here to the studio this week.
Well, first of all, the car's in the shop. The scarf is at the dry cleaners. You know,
how convenient.
It's the holidays are coming up. We got to look good.
Sure it is.
But you know, ADR was doing fantastic on SmackDown.
He was
great.
And you were waiting for him to make that next step over to Raw and then to be champion.
And then you come to Raw, and then you get stuck behind John Cena. You get stuck behind Randy Orton, who's now on Raw. There's Sheamus. Wade Barrett's getting a push. There's CM Punk. There's Triple H. There's Kevin Nash. There's Big Show. Mark Henry are now on Raw. It's like, where does the guy? He's not even in the top 10 on Monday Night Raw, and the show he was drafted to.
How about at the Survivor Series in that championship matchup, CM Punk introducing his own ring announcer, Howard Finkel, the Fink, in Madison Square Garden. That was a mark-out moment for me.
That was congratulations to Howard Finkel, because you know what? We've forgotten about Howie.
I have not.
You know, and then he comes out, does the deal, crowd pops big for him.
It's Madison Square Garden.
Know what? If you really think about it, they buried ADR and RR from the get-go. By bringing Howard Finkel out.
The stage was set for CM Punk to win that championship, and we talked about it on Be the Booker, our online episode last week, how this night would be Punk's night, at least from the crowd.
Yes.
Well, it shows you how correct I am, because it was also Cody Rhodes' night. But this would be CM Punk's night, and a little bit of as some people were calling it, a Lambo leap into the crowd at Madison Square Garden after he won that WWE championship.
There's no guy from Chicago that would ever do the Lambo leap.
I said some people were calling it. It was more of a stage dive.
Okay, that makes more sense.
The Rock returns to WWE
Finally.
in a match for the first time in 7 years, and David, he didn't miss a beat. And not only that, but he proved to the world why he may just be one of the greatest, well, he is one of the greatest, but is he the greatest wrestling performer of all times? That's a question that will be answered later, but he proved how great he is in that ring on Sunday night.
The Rock gets in the ring, looks like $1 million, gets in there. It's like he never left.
Right.
It was that crisp.
There's no
it
rust.
Was that good, and the crowd was so behind The Rock. It was ridiculous. He could have been wrestling Jesus Christ, and I think The Rock would have gotten a better ovation.
Vince McMahon did that at WrestleMania 22.
Yeah, but he was teaming with Shawn Michaels.
It was a good Survivor Series overall, and this Rock return was a great way to set the stage for their WrestleMania matchup, him and Cena's WrestleMania matchup come April 1st in Miami, Florida. And of course, John Cena taking the Rock bottom from The Rock in that matchup. And two forgotten people, though, in that match, because you really don't talk about them because they were just sort of there as fodder, it seemed.
They were the wallpaper.
Miz and R-Truth. They didn't get any kind of rub from this matchup.
Of course they did.
Really?
They were in the main event.
They were in the main event,
Square
but they were, as you said,
Rock.
they were wallpaper.
They were, but still. I mean, the Miz and Ron Killings can tell their great grandchildren that they were at headlined Survivor Series with The Rock. What else do you need? Come on.
Survivor Series goes down in the history book on pay-per-view this past Sunday night, and you voted on our Facebook page, pass or fail for Survivor Series. And David Hero, it was the highest difference in votes ever for a pay-per-view judging that we've executed. And it was Survivor Series with an overwhelming pass from all of you out there. Seemingly everyone satisfied with that event. And all of you who came down to the Horny Goat Hideaway with our guest Maria Kanellis were very satisfied this past Sunday night as well. I want to thank the hundreds of you that showed up to be a part of that. And we're doing it again, David Hero. More information later in this program. And for the next time, you can join us for the PWR live pay-per-view viewing party. Still to come on the Pro Wrestling. What are you doing here?
It's my show.
You're supposed to be sitting at the desk over there. Still to come here on the Pro Wrestling Report, it's Star of the Week. And wait a minute, who's going to be your star? Never mind. Star of the Week, the history book. We look at Starcade 1983, the very first Starcade event, which was a flair for the gold. All that coming up next, right here on the Pro Wrestling Report, prime time on My 24 Milwaukee.
Saturday night, December 3rd, it's Blizzard Brawl 7. The annual extravaganza returns to the Waukesha County Expo Center, featuring stars such as Al Snow, Carlito, Chris Masters, Chavo Guerrero, Sonny, Axe and Smash, Demolition, D.H. Smith, and more. Tickets start at only $10 each, and you can buy them now at BlizzardBrawl.com. Blizzard Brawl 7, Saturday, December 3rd, Waukesha County Expo Center.
Hey, this is Harry Smith. You're watching the Pro Wrestling Report on My 24.
Welcome back to the Pro Wrestling Report, primetime television here on My 24 Milwaukee. Damian Nelson sitting alongside David Hero. And David, next Saturday night in Waukesha at the Expo Center, it is Blizzard Brawl 7. It has been called the WrestleMania of independent wrestling events. You are the promoter of that event. King Kong Bundy is the man who said those words. And this Saturday night coming up, it is Blizzard Brawl 7. It is going to be, as I said, at the Waukesha County Expo Center. Huge names on that card, including names you've never seen here in Milwaukee before on an independent wrestling show. Carlito has been signed. Chavo Guerrero has been signed. Sonny has been signed. Al Snow, the current GLCW champion, has been signed.
Superfly Jimmy Snuka, brother, has
First time ever for all those names. Mine is Al Snow. He's been here a couple times. Sonny as well. But
Harry Smith, the British Bulldog.
Chris Masters will be in a one-on-one matchup with this guy, and it may just be his last match. And I'm not saying I'm going to end his career, because I want him to still have, some opportunities beyond Blizzard Brawl.
Be thankful.
But he's going to have to take some time off.
The life and health insurance has been paid up on you.
Supplemental.
I mean, if you can't be here after that, who's going to be doing the show with me? Linda?
It'll be fine.
That might not be a bad idea.
It'll be fine. And I would say almost the headliner behind Masters and myself is the legendary Mean Gene Okerlund is going to be a part of Blizzard Brawl 7. And
it's his first indie event ever. Coming to Blizzard Brawl at the Waukesha County Expo Center 1 week from tonight.
Axe and Smash or Demolition also part of that card. And as we talk more about Mean Gene Okerlund, every year someone gets inducted into the Pro Wrestling Report Hall of Fame and receives that Lifetime Achievement Award. Bobby the Brain Heenan 2 years ago. Last year it was Demolition, Axe and Smash. This year Mean Gene Okerlund joins the West Wing of the Pro Wrestling Report Hall of Fame.
It doesn't get much better than that. I mean, the guy that was in the AWA with Milwaukee's own The Crusher and Baron Von Raschke and Mad Dog Vachon, then goes on to greatness in the WWE with Hulk Hogan and the Macho Man, to WCW with the NWO. It's like he has been there for everything.
All the information on this show. Oh, wait a minute. We're talking about that match between me and Chris Masters.
You're
jacked. I don't know if you've seen these things, but
no, I don't think anyone has seen those things.
I've been working out, and I'm ready to share with the world the footage.
You know what? Your forums have gotten bigger.
My workout footage right now. Let's go to that clip of me getting ready for this matchup with Chris Masters.
Nelson Lock. Better. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Whew. There's no more weight to put on here. Oh, man.
Yep. See, there's no doubt.
Bro.
Blizzard Brawl 7 next Saturday night.
Did you see All the weight that was, I can't believe it. You know, it's a good thing that we don't have a wellness policy in GLCW.
You can get a ticket package which includes transportation to and from Blizzard Brawl 7, courtesy of our partner, the Horny Goat Hideaway. David, only $40. $40 gets you 2 tickets, a pizza, a pitcher of beer,
and transportation
to and from Blizzard Brawl. So whether it might snow or not, whether you just don't want to drive, whether you can't drive.
The only snow we're going to see at Blizzard Brawl is Al Snow. Knock it off.
You can get that shuttle from the Horny Goat Hideaway, only $40 right now. You can go to hornygoatgear.com or blizzardbrawl.com to purchase those tickets right now to be a part of that. It's an amazing deal, an amazing package. Chavo Guerrero, Carlito, D.H. Smith, Demolition Sonny, Al Snow, Chris Masters, and Mean Gene Okerlund, all in Waukesha next Saturday night, the Waukesha County Expo Center for Blizzard Brawl 7. Pro Wrestling Report continues with this week's Star of the Week.
This week's PWR Star of the Week is the jabroni-beaten, pie-eaten, eyebrow-raising, Madison Square Garden selling out son of a gun, The Rock. Yes, The Rock returned at the Survivor Series, laid the smackdown not only on The Miz, Ron Killings, and John Cena, but the entire WWE Universe was chanting his name. So it's obvious he's the only one I could pick. The Rock is this week's PWR Star of the Week.
It's time to talk about World Wrestling Entertainment, and on top of the big story we broke earlier in this episode of R-Truth being suspended for 30 days for a wellness policy violation, WWE's got another talent that's going to be on the show for an extended period of time, and that is Sin Cara, who was injured at this past Sunday's Survivor Series, suffering from a ruptured patella tendon, and will be out for 6 to 9 months, as that injury will require surgery for Sin Cara. Sin Cara's ride in WWE since his big debut has been bumpy, to say the least.
It's been brutal. I mean, the guy has had wellness policy violations. He's had an imposter. Now he tears his boleta. It's like, what is left?
Sin Cara gone. Rey Mysterio gone. Alberto Del Rio in obscurity. A lot of talk was about those 3 talents potentially being involved somehow or another with each other in Miami at WrestleMania 28.
ADR is 6'5", and you got 2 guys that are barely over 5.5 feet tall. That's a mismatch.
There's still unfinished business between Alberto Del Rio and Rey Mysterio.
It's done. We don't want to go backwards. We got to go forward with ADR. He has to go back after CM Punk. He has to regain his greatness and his destiny and give the Super Friends some more points.
And he gets that chance this upcoming Monday night on Raw. It is a rematch between CM Punk and Alberto Del Rio. I will tell you this now, as sure as anything else I know in this world.
Oh my God.
There is no way that Alberto Del Rio will win the WWE Championship on Raw this Monday night from CM Punk. CM Punk is on his way. Are you ready? Are you ready? CM Punk is on his way to Miami, to WrestleMania, where he will remain the WWE champion and defend it at that pay-per-view event.
I think you're wrong, because why couldn't ADR steal it quick on Monday to drop it back to CM Punk at TLC?
What's the point?
Just because he made a point to mention it's not going to be a hot potato title anymore. That's like, it's right in front of your face. Well, maybe that's what he's trying to get at. You need to believe and quit hating on
I believe
ADR.
in CM Punk. I don't believe in Alberto Del Rio. He's irrelevant as of now.
See, all it takes was knee pads and he's a star. Zack Ryder's on the Super Friends. See, we all, you know what? Participate.
I've risen above the hate.
I can tell by looking at you.
It looks like Kane is going to be on his way back to WWE as well. A video we saw this past on WWE programming all week actually showed Kane's mask dropping while on fire, hitting the floor. We haven't seen Kane in a mask in a very long time. Kane back.
Great
it seems as if Kane is going to be thrust back into a program with the World Heavyweight Champion over on SmackDown.
See, they need a wrestler that wears a hood. You lose Rey Mysterio, you lose Sin Cara, so bring back Kane, let him put the mask back on. He'll get the nostalgia pop, even though nostalgia isn't what it used to be anymore. It'll still be great to see the Big Red Machine back.
Another video we saw, which one you may not have directly noticed that they were publicizing, was the It Begins 2012 video. A graphic popping up during some of the Twitter information that was on WWE Raw this past Monday night.
Is that trending?
Now it is.
Cole. There you go. Sure.
It begins 2012. It's a video that many have likened to the return of The Undertaker, as it references January 2nd, 2012, which is a Monday night. And I almost, David Hero, hope that this isn't yet another Undertaker return video hype, because a lot of people are going to think it's Sting.
No, Sting is busy playing Mr. Mom in TNA right now.
It begins 2012. Let's not lose sight of the title there. Let's not lose sight of some of the things that were said in that promo. Let's speculate as to what will begin. And I wonder if the beginning is the beginning of the end for the career of The Undertaker in WWE. It is no secret, David Hero, The Undertaker is not in great shape. His body is beaten, he is worn, he is torn. He can still deliver better than almost anybody in the business right now in that ring.
He hasn't been in the ring since WrestleMania. So
let's
see what kind of rust he's going to have.
And we know that at WrestleMania, he barely got out of the ring, and that's legit.
I don't know how many know this, but Undertaker shaved his head bald after WrestleMania. So he's going to come back with a completely different look.
Maybe he's going to be an American badass again.
Or maybe he'll be with Michelle McCool.
And I think it's The Undertaker, but some people have said that maybe it's Y2J.
And you know what? That wouldn't surprise me. Chris Jericho says he will never be a wrestler again in the WWE, but he might be that sports entertainer.
And will he be the best in the world at what he does up against the best in the world? How about Jericho Taker at WrestleMania?
Is that going to... You know what? They can have anybody against Taker because the match that's going to sell the tickets is Cena versus The Rock.
What reason does an Undertaker or a Chris Jericho, or what some people have talked about lately, even a Batista, what reason do they have to come back to WWE knowing that the majority of the payday is going to The Rock and John Cena?
Because it's still going to be a good payday. It's still WrestleMania.
You want to be associated with it, I guess.
Oh, why wouldn't you? You know, it'll be one of the highest selling DVDs of all time.
Going into WrestleMania, it's the Royal Rumble from St. Louis, Missouri on January 29th. And we talked earlier about the Survivor Series party that we hosted at the Horny Goat Hideaway with our hostess, Maria Kanellis. Well, David Hero, we return to the Horny Goat Hideaway on January 29th with the Royal Rumble on the largest television in the Midwest. What an amazing experience it was this past Sunday night. What an amazing experience it will be at the Royal Rumble. No need to order it. You can watch it for free. Countdown with us. The atmosphere was amazing at the Horny Goat Hideaway. We'll do it again for the Royal Rumble on January 29th. That's this week's WWE Report.
Saturday night, December 3rd, it's Blizzard Brawl 7. The annual extravaganza returns to the Waukesha County Expo Center, featuring stars such as Al Snow, Carlito, Chris Masters, Chavo Guerrero, Sonny, Axe and Smash, Demolition, D.H. Smith, and more. Tickets start at only $10 each, and you can buy them now at BlizzardBrawl.com. Blizzard Brawl 7, Saturday, December 3rd, Waukesha County Expo Center.
Hey everybody, I'm Sunny, the original diva of the WWE and 2011 WWE Hall of Famer, and you're watching Pro Wrestling Report on My 24.
It's time once again to go into the history book and look back into the annals of time in professional wrestling. And it was this week, back in 1983, David Hero, that Starcade occurred. The very first Starcade event.
You were 14, weren't you?
It was closed captioned all over the South, and it was headlined by the main event match for the NWA World Championship, Ric Flair versus Harley Race in a cage. This one had amazing build-up to it. Ric Flair had actually retired in between his loss of the championship earlier in the year to regaining the championship on November 24th, 1983 at Starrcade. And then it would be another year before Dusty Rhodes would get a chance at Ric Flair's championship after challenging him at the end of Starrcade. Really, a day's gone by in professional wrestling.
Ric Flair and Harley Race, two of the greatest ring generals, match technicians for whatever. I mean, two guys that could go put on a great match, could easily go an hour any night of the week, and those two had a brutal cage match that left Ric Flair leaving.
A bloody mess.
The NWA World Champion.
And the celebration in the ring when Flair won that. Starrcade would be an event that would define NWA and WCW going forward. And this night also featured that ever so famous dog collar match between Rowdy Roddy Piper and Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Those two guys beat the holy heck out of each other. I mean, it was the point where an ear almost fell off.
Not Mick Foley's era.
Of course not. That was way before Mick Foley.
And Roddy Piper would win that matchup, and the NWA Tag Team Championships were on the line as the Briscoes wrestled the team of
Ricky
Jay
Steamboat.
Youngblood and Ricky the Dragon
And that was
Steamboat.
way before. Well, it was before he was the Dragon. He was Ricky Steamboat. Ricky Steamboat and Jay Youngblood, one of the top young tag teams at the time. The Briscoes, legendary wrestlers, had a tremendous match. If you ever want to watch some good tag team wrestling, go back to the Briscoes and Steamboat and Youngblood.
And the Briscoes would not be victorious that night, but ultimately it would not matter because Starcade became, as I said, the defining event of its time, and was even before the very first WrestleMania, which didn't occur until 2 years later. Starcade was a Thanksgiving tradition before moving to December under its WCW umbrella.
Well, they had no choice but to go to December because the Survivor Series came along.
This night really launched Ric Flair into an established NWA champion, and it happened at Starcade 1983, an amazing night in professional wrestling history. David Hero, an amazing night next Saturday in Milwaukee wrestling history. Blizzard Brawl 7 comes to the Waukesha County Expo Center. Huge names including Sonny, Carlito, D.H. Smith, Demolition Axe and Smash. Chris Masters will lose in a match to me, Chavo Guerrero,
Jimmy
and
Superfly Snuka,
more.
And Mean Gene Okerlund.
He's the headliner. He's the main event. You don't want to miss it, ladies and gentlemen. Tickets start at only $10. Only $10. And hey, don't have a way to get there? You can purchase the package from the Horny Goat Hideaway bus shuttle transportation service, available with tickets purchased as part of that big package deal from the Horny Goat Hideaway. Only $40. David Hero gets you 2 tickets, a pizza, a beer, pitcher of beer, and also discounted drinks at the after party, which will be at the
and
Horny Goat
transportation
Hideaway.
to and from Blizzard Brawl.
BlizzardBrawl.com. I believe only a few meet and greet tickets remain for that event, where you can meet Mean Gene Okerlund and others. And I tell you what, Mean Gene Okerlund's a great guy, and he doesn't pull any punches.
No.
The things he's seen and done in this business, absolutely amazing, and I think it deserves an oh my from Mean Gene. We're not going to make you call the hotline for next week's news because we'll be right here on My 24 Milwaukee again for the Pro Wrestling Report. And for David Hero, this is Damian Nelson saying thank you so much for tuning in. And for you watching online, the show continues with 5 more minutes. What are you doing? I know we were just standing over. We're 5 minutes more.
Are you serious?
We're ready to start here. I mean, come on. The people are waiting. They want to hear what you have to say about Cody Rhodes and Dolph Ziggler and Zack Ryder and Wade Barrett, because it seemed like at this past Sunday night Survivor Series, those are some of the people WWE placed a renewed focus on, and definitely, seemingly, they are the future of the company. So let's take it name by name, David Hero. And firstly, Dolph Ziggler, who I endorsed months ago.
Dolph Ziggler, he is a stud on Raw right now. I mean, he's the guy that, he's like the 60-minute man. He's working 2 pay-per-views matches a night. He's in the big match. He's had the best matches on Raw for the past 2 months.
Had a great match this past Monday night with CM Punk. Had a great match at Survivor Series.
That match should have ended Raw.
Series. Absolutely, it should have ended Raw. But Dolph Ziggler, follow that. He is that good. Future world champion?
Eventually. Right now, he's kind of in that Macho Man Randy Savage Ultimate Warrior mode, where he's going to be like the second-tier champ for a while, and then eventually go into that spot. Might not be till after WrestleMania.
Wade Barrett, talk about a relaunch.
That guy has it. He has all the tools.
He's got a lot of hair now, too.
He is tall, he's good looking, he can talk, he's got the jacket. He has the build that Vince McMahon likes. He's a big guy. Wade Barrett is a star, and it's unfortunate that he got stuck working with John Cena early on in his career. Even though it put him in a high-profile situation, it also hurt his development, because when you keep getting beat by John Cena, you become irrelevant after a while. But right now, he's on his way back up in a great program with Randy Orton, and Randy Orton is going to benefit from having good matches with Wade Barrett. He's no longer stuck in the same match with Christian. He's no longer battling Mark Henry. He's done with Cody Rhodes, thank God, and now it's Wade Barrett, two stars.
Cody Rhodes, what a difference a set of knee pads make. I endorsed Cody Rhodes well over a year ago because I have a keen eye for talent. And now,
what kind of eye?
All of you jumping on the bandwagon as well behind Cody Rhodes, and you can't dismiss, David Hero, that fan support that he had at the Survivor Series, which I was even surprised by.
It's amazing how the fans have gotten behind Cody Rhodes. I mean,
I'm not
it
sure
really
what the
is.
appeal is, to be honest with you. To be flat honest with you, I'm not sure. I'm very surprised, especially that New York audience.
You know, people sometimes feel sorry for people. And you know what? Maybe they just know he needs some love and attention. And, you know, it's kind of like, you know, listen, you know, when,
need no love and
you know
attention.
what? You know, it's like when you go to the Humane Society and you see all these pets that don't have homes. And you're heartbroken. You're like, you know what? I want to take that pet home.
That's why they were cheering for Cody Rhodes. Can you stop? Put your shovel away for a minute.
I'm
And
not-
really share with these people your thoughts on Cody Rhodes. And I'm not going to ask you. I'm going to tell you. He is a future world champion. For that, there is no doubt. I will say this. Now, we
you know
joke
what?
and laugh about the knee pads. It is a distinct difference now.
It's a
Looking
big
at Cody
difference.
Rhodes,
It
he
looks
looks like a wrestler.
It looks like he gained 15 pounds.
Right.
I mean, he filled out just because of knee pads.
Yeah.
But is he going to be a future world champion?
Yes.
If he does, what does that tell you about the state of the business?
Okay, it tells me nothing different than Punk being champion, Miz being champion,
It's
Alberto Del Rio being
completely
champion.
it's completely different.
How is it different?
Because they have the larger-than-life personality.
Alberto Del Rio's not, Punk is not, Miz was not.
Of course Miz did. He had the money in the bank. He cashed it in. He beat Randy Orton.
Larger than life personality.
Yeah, the Miz, must-see TV. Come on. If you know what,
The
listen,
Miz is
Cody
also
Rhodes
underspending, by the
is
way.
talented. You know what? He's gotten better every single week, every single month. He's done better. Thank God he's no longer considered Randy Orton's lackey. But I do not believe.
years ago.
I do not. But okay, you know what? Some people when they come over from TNA, they're off TV for a year to get the stink off. It's taken at least 2 years to get the stink of being Randy Orton's lackey off. But I don't know if Cody Rhodes is the guy that you put that belt around his waist.
Right now,
to
he's
carry
not.
the company.
Right now, he's not. There's no doubt about
I don't
it.
see it in 2 years from now. I really don't.
Did you see him being at the point he is now 2 years ago? Doesn't sound
Absolutely.
like it.
Absolutely. A mid-card guy. He's mid-card.
Yes, he is a mid-card.
Okay.
So is Dolph Ziggler, so is Wade Barrett.
Yes, absolutely.
So what's the problem?
Listen, at the end of the day,
You called him Randy Orton's lackey
Yes.
2 years ago.
yes.
So being a mid-card guy is not as good, not better
Okay,
than
you know
being
what?
Randy
You know
Orton's
what?
lackey.
Since we're on the 5 more minutes, I feel like I can be a little more honest because we're not on network television. Let's face it, if Cody Rhodes' father was not Dusty Rhodes, he would not have lasted the last 2 years.
If Ted DiBiase's father wasn't Ted DiBiase,
Yes,
he
and-
wouldn't be doing barbecues in the parking lot. Of pay-per-views.
Absolutely right. He wouldn't have a job right now. Those guys have not gotten.
Triple H wasn't married to Stephanie.
Listen.
If Randy Orton's dad
When
wasn't Bob,
WWE Creative has to debate about what look they want to give Cody Rhodes to get him
they
over,
do that for everybody.
no, they don't.
They should.
They may tweak certain things, but it's
They
not.
tweak
It
them.
doesn't take up most of their meetings.
No matter what creative does, no matter what the office does, it still lies on the shoulders of that talent to deliver in the ring and to get the fans behind them.
Maybe so, but if you're given more opportunities, listen.
How many opportunities has he been given?
He
Cody
got
Rhodes.
to beat Randy Orton, what, 2 or 3 weeks in a row?
times,
Yes,
absolutely.
exactly. So it's kind of like here.
Others have done that. Few.
Who?
Few.
Yeah, a few none. Listen,
I'm
creative
That's what this is.
gift wrapped that stuff for Cody. And listen, he's talented. Don't get me wrong. He's a talented guy.
That's a step. That's a huge step for you. That's like step 8 of your 12
I didn't
step
say he's
Cody Rhodes
great. I
program,
said he's talented.
which is a step for you
Yes.
because you had once said other words.
I did say
that
Cody
certainly
Rhodes
weren't
sucks. And
talented.
back with him when I said that, he sucked. He's gotten better. Listen, he was on his back more than a $2 hooker in New York for the first 2 years of his career.
You don't know what he did after the show.
You know what I mean. He was counting the light bulbs nonstop, RKO'd
They're
every
park
single
fans, they're not
night.
light
You know, listen, Cody and Ted, much like Wade Barrett, had the unfortunate pairing up to wrestle DX every night. And they got beat every night,
How much
except
did
for
they
one
learn from that,
pay-per-view.
though? How much did they learn from being in the
It
ring
doesn't
with
matter
Randy
how
Orton,
much
Shawn
they
Michaels, and
earned
Triple H?
because
learned.
I'm sure they learned a lot, but it didn't help their character growth. When you're beat every night, it doesn't do you any good. Your credibility is gone. They were booked poorly because Randy wouldn't do the job, so send out Ted and Cody. Let them get beat up by Triple H and Shawn Michaels every night. You know that's true.
I'm not denying it.
And you're not agreeing with it either, but you know what's right.
Zack Ryder. Woo, woo, woo. You now know it, Dave.
He's a super friend now. I picked him up for Sin Cara. How about that?
Which typically means his career is on a downward spiral once he ends up on this Mighty Mouse.
But at least he'll be on a winning team. You know what? Zack Ryder, we mentioned it last week on 5 More Minutes. More merchandise. The guy now has a Christmas ornament if you go to the .com site. Absolutely. You know what? Good for Zack Ryder. He rolled the dice, took a chance. Like he said, he's either going to get fired or get a push. So he was willing to roll the dice and take that chance. He's getting a great push.
And the endorsements of John Cena and The Rock.
And that's my biggest concern, is that are they jamming him down everyone's throat too soon? Whereas the fans wanted to cheer for him, but the fans don't like John Cena. So why would they want to support a guy that John Cena likes?
Where's my page 4?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. You ad-lib anyhow. What are you talking about?
They will support a guy that John Cena likes. And here's John Cena said...
They will?
I think in this case, yes. Because they think they want Ryder. And here's the...
No, they do. They chant it every night. We want Ryder. My concern...
There are a couple of leaders starting that, and a lot more followers following that.
My concern with Zack Ryder is that when push does come to shove, can he deliver? See, I sold
Push
for you.
Push is going to come to shove next Saturday night when I whoop Chris Masters' ass worse than he's ever been whooped before. You think Triple H laid into him and he came back and it shrank. Chris Masters, Blizzard Brawl 7. You don't know what you're in for. You saw that footage earlier.
Yes.
You want to see it again?
Yes, I saw your forearms. You're developed.
Get ready here.
Don't get stuck.
Ready? Well, I don't want to scare you.
Please, because I was getting terrified.
Blizzard Brawl 7. Mean Gene Okerlund.
Is that why you got the? Is that why you got the? You know the heel beard
is he
going here?
Call my match, Mean Gene?
No, of course not.
Well, that's one of my demands.
He's a Hall of Famer.
To show up and perform in this matchup.
You don't have to show. I mean, that's fine. And then you just look like a coward. I'm not showing up. Full Nelson against the Master Lock should be half Nelson against the Master Lock.
Why are you talking about Chris Masters like that?
I like Chris Masters. He's a great guy. If you wouldn't have buried him on TV, this wouldn't have happened.
And I stood behind it. I didn't change my story like you did about Cody Rhodes, about Zack Ryder, about...
well, I didn't change anything. I didn't... You know what? I am a grown man. I can make different decisions. I can process information and change my mind.
You were for it before you were against it.
You should always be
they say
against
that about
something.
Mitt Romney. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He
Absolutely.
might be the Republican presidential candidate.
He might be, yes.
Should be, hopefully. It'd be easy pickings. Zack Ryder, Cody Rhodes, Wade Barrett, Dolph Ziggler. Are they the future of WWE, along with CM Punk, obviously?
I think that they are a strong mid to upper card. I don't know if they are the future, but I honestly think that they have the opportunity to be big players.
How did you feel about Rob Terry in a turkey suit on Impact this past Thursday?
You know what the amazing thing is they took
Rudy Charles back?
They took the biggest beast on the entire company and stuffed him in a turkey suit. You know, it would have been more entertaining if Garrett Bischoff would have stuffed his dad in there. That would have made more sense. Why take the biggest guy on the roster and bury him like that?
Another good episode of Impact. We didn't talk about it so much, but another good episode of Impact this past Thursday night. Rather uneventful, though. Kurt Angle and James Storm, same thing. The lingerie match was pretty fun.
Well, who doesn't like that? I mean, come on.
But they're sort of on a little bit of cruise control. But I am happy to see Robbie E. and Eric Young still getting some time on TV, that story being given the time. And that's one point I think that needs to be made about TNA as of late. They have been focused. You may not like what they've been focused on, but they've been focused in their stories since Bound for Glory. And who haven't we really seen since Bound for Glory except for that 1 week?
Hulk Hogan, brother.
There you have it. Well, David Hero, that's 5 minutes more. Tomorrow night we're back at, Monday night we're back at Karma. We're live remote.
More? You know, I have that old WCW contract where I have X number of dates. I think we've almost maxed out of our dates, I think.
Not quite. Actually, you have some obligations you're going to need to be fulfilling that you have not fulfilled per your contract. Otherwise, there will be a pay cut coming soon.
Okay.
Just saying. Blizzard Brawl 7, December 3rd, Waukesha, Wisconsin at the Expo Center. It's going to be a great event. The 7th installment, David Hero, Mean Gene Okerlund, Superfly Jimmy Snuka,
Coconuts.
Sonny, D.H. Smith, Axe and Smash Demolition, Carlito,
Chavo Guerrero, our good close
Al
personal
Snow,
friend Al Snow. Al Snow and Head. That's what
Now I
everybody
understand
wants.
it's Al Snow and Head versus
Chavo and Pepe. Yeah.
in a handicap match.
Well, no, it's not a handicap match. It's a tag team match.
Mixed tag?
Absolutely. It has to be a mixed tag.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the Pro Wrestling Report here on My 24 Milwaukee and also on this extended online edition of the show. For that one,
This guy.
Damian
Hall of
Nelson
Famer.
saying thank you so much for tuning in.